Good morning, everybody. I am a little tired today. I am into a series on Netflix, and it's like I watch an episode every night. I am getting towards the end of the second season, and they haven't filmed the third, so it won't be too long, but I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how many of you watch um, Netflix, but okay, had to turn down my iPad. Um, but I've had several series that I've watched. So when this one ends, I'll be looking for another one. Um, I just, I like watching it. Hey, Jenny, virtual hugs to you too. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. But anyway, my Netflix series, uh, if you have any, drop it in the comments to let me know that you watch. I'm not into mystery detective kind of stuff. I've watched Emily in Paris, which is funny. Um, then I watched, well, what was the next one? Sweet Magnolias. That one was good. Hey, Renee. And I'm currently watching Virgin River. So it's a mixture of things in there. Both Emily in Paris and Sweet Magnolias, my daughter recommended. I'm loving Sweet Magnolias. If you remember the Desperate Housewives series that used to be on, hi Gladys, years ago, it's very similar to that, but they only have one season done. I don't know, but they're working on filming the next season for the first two I mentioned. And hope it's going well, Jenny. So I'm always on the lookout for new stuff. When this one ends, or when this season ends, I'll go looking for another one, and then maybe eventually I'll get back to the Emily in Paris, and they'll have the second season done that I can watch. But we'll see. If not, I'll find something else. It's one of those things. Are you guys getting excited? The new catalog is out, but it doesn't go live till May the 4th. So I have picked up a few things. I've got another package coming on Tuesday because I had to wait to make some decisions on some things. So once I made the decisions, then I could go ahead and order the rest of my supplies. Hi, Gail. I will probably order more stuff as the year goes on. I try to order only a couple of months based on my classes, online classes, so that I can have them ready to go. And as the year goes down, what I need to do is go through and plan out my next year. Now that I have my catalog, it finally came. Now that I have my catalog, I can go through and plan out my year. Oh, In the Wild, that's a cute one, Jenny. So yeah, there's a couple I want that my next retreat, I'm going to use that Expressions in Ink. Oh my God, that is a beautiful suite. So I'm going to do that one for my next retreat. And you can't order that till May the 4th, but as soon as I can order it, I'm going to order it because I'm excited about that one. I played a little bit with the in colors. I used them on my card on Thursday night that was in my group, my private Facebook group for my customers. And it was interesting. I paired the colors up with current colors, like the evergreen, what is it? Evening Evergreen. I paired it up with, let's see, I paired it with Soft Seafoam, Pear Pizzazz, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Garden Green, Shaded Spruce, and the only one I liked with it was the Soft Seafoam. So then I did the same thing with the the green one, the other green one. Something succulent. Uh, that is a cute thought to have. Now I'll look at that page and think of that all the time, Jenny. But the succulent one, it was the same thing. It didn't go with any of our current colors. So I just have to wait and kind of play with them a little bit more. The pink was interesting because it's a medium pink, but I put it with Petal Pink and Blushing Bride and Melon Mambo. I don't know if there were any others or not, but I put it with those and it was all right. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I don't think I used Just Jade on the green ones. I'll have to go back and look at those. But the papaya, pale papaya, I'm loving that one. Only because it's such a soft orange. Pumpkin pie, I use it basically at Halloween, but it's very, it's not a pretty color to me. But the pale papaya, oh, there were a couple that looked really good with it. So I hope you all have your beverage. We're going to get started here and see. Oh yeah, that happens a lot. They're half and half. I was thinking that a couple of them, we have a color that retired a few years ago, Peekaboo Peach or something, that I paired with to see what it looked like with the pale papaya. So if you got older colors, you can always look at those. I didn't have Peach Parfait, which I think is a lighter version. You know, it's in between Peekaboo Peach and pale papaya. All right, let me get another drink and we'll get started. I always move that off my work surface because I have turned water over and ruined my stuff. All right, let me switch down to my hand view. Today's card, I thought I would pull out the Garden Wishes stamp set, and I'm going to use this image. It's not an image I've used very much. I have used this one, but not this one. And I thought, well, it's time to play with that one, and it's perfect for my card. And I wanted some thank you cards, so I took my Thank You for Your Kindness from Dragonfly Garden. And there's our clean and simple card right there. And you're going to find it's an easy card to do. And I like clean and simple cards. So let me get my card base ready. And this is just white, and it's a half a sheet of cardstock, scored in the middle. All right. Now, to do my image, I wanted two colors. So I'm using my markers on them. And all I did is I just dragged my marker down. Now, when you do this, you do not want to go at it this way. You want to use the side of the marker. You'll ruin your tip if you go at it straight on. So just take your marker, run it over like so, and you can kind of see where you've done it. All right. And then you're going to take the So Saffron, and you're going to color your dandelion heads. At least that's what I think they are. That's what it looks like. All right. Now, if these have dried out some, you want to huff on it. And all I do is I kind of huff and drag my stamp through my breath. Okay, so there's our image. And to do my sentiment, and I did this one in Thank You for Your Kindness, but I think I'm going to pull in Pear Pizzazz. Just so you can see the difference. going to stamp it up here in the corner, like so. Yeah, it shows up better. This one doesn't show up much, so that's why I decided to use the Pear Pizzazz. Okay, so we've got our clean and simple card. Quick and easy, clean and simple. But how about we step it up to this one? All right. And what you'd need to do is you need a piece of scrap paper. And this piece is 1/4 of an inch smaller than the card front. All the measurements will be on the page after this is over. So then I pulled in my pool party pad, and I'm going to use my sponge sprayer, and I'm just going to add some color. And it takes it a while, and once your sponge gets soaked with ink, it goes faster. So if you're going to do this, do a bunch of them at the same time. And see, I'm getting just slightly darker as I go down. And then I'm going to flip this around because I found it easier to flip it around. And you kind of want those lines in there for variation. So you just keep adding it as you go. So you're creating this background, and then I want the bottom the darkest of all, so I'm going to go over it a couple of times. And if you want it lighter, just don't do it as much. There we go. Now it's getting it. And so you have that ombre look of the color. I'm going to add that to a piece of, well, before I do that, I'm going to add my, did I add the ribbon all the way across? Yes, I did. All right. So it's going to go on a pool party base. I couldn't remember. But before I do that, where's my, oh, where's that one? Darn, did I not cut it? Either that or I used it. I didn't cut it, or I used it. Hold on. Dang. I was a creating fool yesterday. 3 by 4.5. Let me cut another piece of that real quick. So I may have used it up. All right. Okay. I got it. All right, so I've got my piece. This one is going to go on at an angle. Now, I will tell you, this needs to be dry, so just kind of wave it in the air and make sure it's dry before you put this down, or it's not going to stick really well. So I'm going to add this to my card base, and I put it on at an angle just for some interest, but you want to watch and make sure that your corners don't go past your paper. Now for the fun of the, hi Diane, hey Betty Ann, of the twine. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape. Where's my bottom? Down here. Okay. I think one of these I put it on wrong. I put it, yep, the wow card. This piece was put on upside down. So that happens. All right, so I'm going to take this All right. And I'm going to cut my piece of twine. Remember, use your ribbon scissors. If you don't have any, get some. Cutting ribbon dulls your scissors, and then when you have to cut paper, you get jagged edges and you get a mess. All right, so I've got that on there. I've got this on here. It's stuck to me. Let's see. Make sure it's on straight and tight. And then I'm going to put another piece of double-sided tape on top because, hey Diane, hey Ann, that'll make sure it's sandwiched in there good. Now I'm going to move this out of the way because the bow is on later. And I'm going to take the back off of this and we're going to add this panel to our card base. Keep hitting that. All right, there we go. All right, now here's my card base. Now when you do this, I always open mine up. And the reason being is, do you know how many times I put mine on upside down? So if I open it up and lay it flat, then I know I always get that card front on the right way. And if you're using glue, you can't always get it off in time when you realize it's on the wrong way. Plus, I like the glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room to get it on there straight. All right, so we've got that. Then I took the stamp and I stamped it on scrap paper, inked it up, stamped it on scrap paper, and used the coordinating die to cut it out. And I'm going to take my dimensionals. And these are just ordinary pop dots, foam tape. I don't know what else everybody else calls them. So put this on. Need some more. I like our Stampin' Up! Dimensionals because they're easy to cut in half. A lot of times you don't need the whole foam tape on there. Okay, I'm going to take this off. The backs. And the pokey tool is perfect for this. Oh my gosh. If I had to pull those off with my fingers. Oh. And then this goes on. And this is good. This one is up higher than this one, so. And you want to put it on straight, which is a challenge since you have this paper. So where you have to kind of block that out and look at it side to side. And because if you put it on, you could put it on cattywampus if you wanted, but I don't. All right, I then stamped my sentiment and used the stitched rectangle framelits to cut it out. I wanted some interest on my framelits. So we're going to put that on, and I used dimensionals on this end, and over here I used a glue dot. You don't want to put a dimensional because it would, how do I say this? It would pop it up too high. It would be like this at an angle. So if you just put dimensionals on one end and a glue dot on the other, hey Lisa, you're good. So I'm going to add this, and I'm going to move this up a little bit on this one, and I kind of did it like this. All right, now the bow. Wait till you see this bow. It's not as hard as you think. All right, you're going to take linen thread, make sure it's pulled out far enough. All right, I'm going to pull out some extra. Take the end and have a tail hanging off and use 2 fingers. Wrap it around twice. Pull in your 3rd finger and keep this out wrap it around twice, then pull in your fourth finger, wrap it around twice. Then you're going to take your scissors and cut your tail. This is where you need to have some out. All right, so have this laying out like so. Then you're going to pull your fingers out, so don't wrap them too tight. You're going to take that middle bow and pull it up. And I kind of do a figure 8 with it. Then the next one, and I look at the size, make sure they're about the same, and then do the last one, like so. All right. I then put it down on top of my twine. This is where if you had another pair of hands, you're in good shape. I don't, so I have learned to do it with just my one. And you want to pull it, but you don't want to pull it tight. And reason being is if you need to adjust it, now is where you do it. You want that in the center. So kind of adjust your loops, pull it tight, and then do another knot. And then cut your thread. I then take my tails and I pull them all to the back, and that may mean unthreading them through. There's always one that's threaded through. All right, I still have it. I can adjust it a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. All right, you're going to take a glue dot and stick it right in the middle of that. Hey Lois, hey Linda. Middle of that knot you made, and stick it down on your card. All right. Now, to get that look, you're going to take your loops, and I take the two largest and pull them top and bottom. Then I take the next two and pull them top to bottom. Now you're not pulling hard because you'll pull the thread through. Then take the other two. You're just kind of separating them like so. Then I flip it around and I do the same thing. I pull the two small, the two middle, the two large, and then I scrunch it. I really pinch it in the center, and that's when you get that nice pretty loopy bow. I take the two outside pieces, and this is purely my preference. You can use whatever you want. And I cut them off, and then I take the two inside ones and I cut them shorter. And there's our stepped up version. Don't you just love that bow? Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, but suppose you want to add a little something something. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to add some interest, thanks Carol, to the back of this panel. So this panel is the same size as the other one. It's up here. And what you want to do with it is, I'm throwing stuff around, I'm running out of room. You're going to take your image and you're going to ink it up with your markers, just like we did. And I don't know if you can see the background in there. Can you see the other one hiding behind it? So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to color this with my markers. Remember, use the side so you don't ruin your tip. And then I'm going to take my daffodil. I'm going to do the tops like so. All right, now I want this back there, but I want it faint, so I'm going to off stamp it. So I'm going to stamp it off, then I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp it here like so, and slide over and stamp it again. So you have a real faint one, and I'll show you, pull it up so you can see that real faint one. So you have two that are faint just for some interest. Oh, thanks, Janice. Then I took the subtle embossing folder, and I'm going to emboss this to give it some extra interest. Now, you want an embossing folder that doesn't have a whole lot of detail going on, so something nice and soft. We have a line at the bottom of ours that helps with lining up your card so you get it on there straight. But if you don't have that line, you can easily add that line using a magic marker and just draw your line on there. I'm embossing while I'm talking. It's going to pop on me. No, it didn't. Draw that line on there. So then you get, I mean, this one, some of them it doesn't matter if it's, when you put it in there, if it's straight or not because of the way the pattern is. This one would look funny because the lines go vertical or horizontal depending on how you do it. All right, so we've got our panel created and it's ready to go. We're now going to do the same thing we did the last time. Use our sponge brayer, and I chose the sponge brayer versus blending brushes because it's easier to put the ink on with a sponge brayer than the blending brush, because you can go, I can go in a line and get that ombre look, the gradient look to it. All right, I'm going to flip this around and see how much faster this is going because I've got all that ink already on my sponge. Okay, my roller. Now, I have to tell you, I don't know if any of you know this or not, but I'm going to age myself here. All right, and I'm going to stop there. Do you remember those sponge rollers we used to use in our hair and wind them up, and they would have a bar that came across and snapped? That's all this is. So if your sponges mess up, Walmart, your old pharmacies, you know, might have them. Pick up a package of those and then you've got them. They will not be white, I don't think. I think they're pink. But there's a way to extend the life, so to speak. All right, now we're going to add this piece, but I'm going to put this piece on with my double-sided tape because I've embossed it, and I want to make sure it sticks. So, with embossed pieces, you have plateaus and valleys. And if they're about the same, if you use glue, it's going to go down into the valley and get hard, and it's not going to give your card or your panel enough to stick to your card. So I always use the double-sided tape because I want to make sure it doesn't fall apart on me. And if you send stuff in the summertime, it's very easy for it to fall apart. And if you're worried that it might not hold, you can always add some glue to the center, but I have never had any of this come loose. So, almost finished with this one. All right. Now, when I put this on, it's still going to be cattywampus, but that's okay. I didn't want the background to be straight up and down, so that's the way it is. And you're not going to notice that it's leaning. All right, I'm going to add my double-sided tape to the back because we're going to do our bow again later when the card is all done. And I'm going to move this one up higher this time. That's the advantage of having I don't know what I was going to say. It had something to do with mass producing. I don't know. It's gone. Not the first time, believe me. All right, I'm going to add this. I can go up. There we go. I decided I better check the back. I may be putting it down too low. All right, so there's that one, and I'm going to pull it over. I'm going to make sure it's even. Stick it down on the back. I'm going to add some more tear tape to the back, some double-sided tape to the back, so that I can make sure that it stays in place, because that's the key. Add another piece on top so that your ribbon doesn't cut loose, or come loose, I should say. Nothing worse than sending a package or a card to someone and they take it out of the envelope and it falls apart. All right, let me take, there we go. Got my card base. Remember, I'm going to open it up so I make sure I put this on there right. Sometimes it doesn't matter if your background is a multicolored DSP. If you put it on upside down, you can flip it. But when it's like this, you can't change it. All right. Okay. All right, we got our card base done. Same thing. I used my image and I cut it out. Stamped it and cut it out. I'm going to add my dimensionals, and I always add a dimensional at the top of my flowers just for added support. So spread your dimensionals out and about. And almost done. Almost. And while I've got my dimensionals, I did the same thing with my sentiment. I stamped it and used my stitched rectangles. But I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm only going to put a dimensional on the one end, because if I don't, it's going to be crooked. It'll be like it's going uphill. Taking my backs off now. I use dimensionals a lot. How about you guys? I just love pop dots and giving my cards extra layers and depth. Right? Okay. I'm going to add this, and I'm adding it in the center. And again, don't pay attention to the white. Look at the pool color. Right? I added a glue dot so that it'll stick over here. This one goes on like so. Right? See, this one's higher than that one. They're all different. All right, time to make our bow. Oops, my thing pulled it too fast. If you're wondering, this is just a cheese shaker, and I had a spool, and I wound I take it off the card and put it on there because it's just easier. All right, give yourself a tail, 2 fingers, once, whoops, don't want to get that tail in there, once, twice, bring in your 3rd finger, once, twice, bring in your 4th finger, once, twice, and then give yourself a tail, and I always go from where I'm holding it. All right, I'm going to pull out some more. Set it down. Take your 2 inside loops, figure 8. Middle loops, figure 8. Oops, too much. Watch your spacing on them. 2 outside loops, figure 8. Set it down in the middle of your twine. Hold it in place. Now if you have a tweezers, this, I don't know what they call them, the self-closing tweezers, you might be able to hold it with that. I just find it easier to kind of put my finger on top and hold it. Okay, and I'm in good shape with my spacing, so I'm going to tie my other knot. Time to cut that off. All right, remember, make sure all of your loops, see how this one is kind of mixed in? I go into the back and I find it and I pull it down so that I have all my ends in the back. It just makes your tails lay better. All right, so I pull them all down straight, take my glue dot, and I hold those down so they don't go crazy. Put it on your glue dot. Pinch it really hard and put it on your card. All right. There's my pieces. This thing's way over there. All right. There's my 2 inside ones, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those. This is my outside ones. Cut those. And then take your bow, pull it top to bottom, north to south. Actually, it's east to west this way. Then the next set of loops, east to west, and the last one, east to west. Remember, don't pull hard. You're just kind of separating them. And then you go over to the other side, do the same thing. East to west. And your next set, east to west, and your last set, east to west. And if you've got one like this, it needs to be a little longer because that one got messed up. You can pull it. All right, and scrunch it up really hard in the middle. And there you have it. So there's our wow card. So we went from, whoops, I thought I had picked them up. Clean and simple. Move this one over here. And we stepped it up. And then we went to a wow. Now this one is upside down. See how the gradient is wrong? Let me pull in the one that's right. But, you know, when you send it out, nobody knows but you. So just don't tell anybody. You won't tell on me, I don't think. All right, so clean and simple, stepped up, wow. So, thanks, Betty Ann. I thought they were too, and this is not a stamp that I have used. I think this might have been the first time. Yeah, I think it's the first time because I had to pull it apart that I've used this stamp. So, you know, I try to look at my stamp sets when I purchase them and say, all right, how can I use each image in a different way? You're quite welcome, Carol. All right, let me go back to my face view. Okay. Yeah, the wow one is really pretty because it has a little bit extra. Let me go back to the hand. It just has a little bit more. You can't really see. Let me pull them closer. You can see that background on that white panel, the difference. Even though these two are the same, because I stamped it and added the embossing, it just gives it a little bit of extra. So you don't have to go too far to make it a wow card. But yeah, check your stash, Lynn. See what you have. There's so many. All you need is like a tall image And it's that's what I used, was just a taller image, and just used it. So look for a tall image. You don't want it too wide, so keep it kind of narrow. And I'm going to go back to this piece here, it can be adjusted. The size can be adjusted. I had a fairly large, tall image, but if your image isn't as taller, you can cut it shorter. So you kind of play with it and see which one works. All right, ladies, I didn't get any suggestions about Netflix series, so I guess I'll be searching. Hey, Cheryl. If I missed anybody that came in, hi, sorry. I try to look up every once in a while on my iPad, but I don't always make it. So I love sharing my ideas with you. I hope I've inspired you. Think about how you can create your background with sponging on your color. You can do the same thing with the blending brushes or a sponge. It's just the roller is easy. That brayer is easy. If you have a hard roller, you could do it with a hard roller also. So, oh, thanks, guys. The Rookie. Oh, was that a TV show? I think it was, Lynn, at one time. I'll have to check that one out. So, but I like to watch those series at night. So I usually watch an episode a night. Perfect, we'll see. Although when Hallmark has a new movie on, I watch that. So they're coming out with some new ones. You get to the point where you've seen them over and over and over again. All right, ladies, I don't know about you, but I have some cards to make today. And I have to dust mop my floors, so I will be doing that. And I have some laundry to do, so I have a busy day. I hope you have a fun day. Our weather has been nice here. Hope your weather is nice, although we've got rain coming in. So, excuse me, I hope it doesn't rain where you are. I will be back on Monday for the Zoom craft along. Bring your craft project and stamp with us. Then next Thursday on the group. And next Saturday at 10:30 for 1 card, 3 styles. Have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe. Bye.